My favorite story about Marcus Aurelias comes at the depths of the Antonine Plague, which is a horrible pandemic that kills millions of people. Rome's economy has been devastated. People are dying in the streets, and everyone feels like it can't possibly get better. And what does Marcus Aurelius do? He walks through the imperial palace and begins to mark things for sale. For 2 months, he sells on the lawn of the great emperor's palace the jewels and robes and couches, the finery owned by the emperor. He's sending a message. He says, I'm not going to put myself first. I don't need these fancy things, not when people are struggling. He says, I'm going to do the little things that make a difference. To me, this is like the CEO who takes a pay cut in a bad economy. This is the athlete who renegotiates their contract so the team can bring on new people. This is the leader who sacrifices and struggles, who puts the people first, not their own comfort and needs. That's what greatness is like, and that's why I love this story from Marcus Aurelius. You're not stuck. I know you think you are, but what the Stoics wanted you to know is that, yes, one path might be closed, but another remains open, right? The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius isn't saying that nothing can ever stop you. He's saying that when you're stopped in one capacity, there remains other capacities open to you. You always have the opportunity to practice virtue, practice excellence, to change in some form or another based on what's happened. We don't control what happened, we control how we respond. That's what Stoic philosophy is about. So yes, one path can be closed, a door can be shut, but the window remains open. You know, someone gets in your way, someone blocks you, someone prevents you. Sure, that happens. But they can't stop you from being patient. They can't stop you from practicing forgiveness. They can't stop you from going in a different direction, from changing your mind, trying something new, growing because of this, learning because of it. The Stoics say no one prevents us from accommodating, adapting, changing, integrating the experiences, the obstacles that are in our path, and turning them into new paths. That's what the obstacle is the way is. It's impossible to get stuck because we always retain our ability to choose and change. We know what it is we need to do, right? We have the information. The problem is doing it. Marcus Aurelius says you could be good today. Instead, you choose tomorrow. We put it off. We say, I'm going to get started on the diet. I'm going to get started on the novel. I'm going to get started cleaning the house. I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. If it was about information, no one would be overweight. No one would be unhealthy. Everyone would have six-pack abs. Every project would get completed. We know how to do it. The problem is that we don't do it. We don't take the steps. That's why the Stoics had the discipline of action. At the end of the day, it's all about the action. It's not what you say. It's not what you think. It's what you do. What action are you going to take? What step are you going to take? And really, that's how you finish stuff, step by step. Just take the first step, Marcus Aurelius says. No one can stop you from that. It takes an immense amount of self-awareness to go, like, I'm feeling discomforted because of X, or I'm feeling anxious because of X. You know, I think that was something for me that I found during the pandemic where suddenly I wasn't doing anything. So I wasn't having to get to this plane. I wasn't stuck in traffic here. I wasn't having to prepare for this or that. And so you'd think that my anxiety would go way down, that suddenly you'd have a lot less to worry about. And then actually that's not true. And then you realize, oh, the anxiety has nothing to do with any of the things. It's actually, Marcus Aurelius talks about this in Meditations. He says, I escaped anxiety. And then he goes, no, actually, I discarded it. And he writes this during a plague, no less. But he goes, I discarded it because it was within me. That was a breakthrough I sort of had. I was like, oh, I thought I was stressed and anxious and worried because of all of these very reasonable things that cause those things in your life, work, family stuff. And then when all that gets pared down, you realize it's like, oh no, it was me. Marcus Aurelius has a better morning routine than you, I promise. So he gets up early. Even though he doesn't want to get up early, even though he doesn't have to get up early, he makes himself get up early. He says, what, were you made to sit here under the covers and keep warm, or were you meant to go do the work of a human being? So he gets up early and he goes and he does his work. And what is the first thing you do? I think that he sits down with his journal. Meditation survives to us because it's the private thoughts of the most powerful man in the world. And then what did he do? He got to work on his most important task of the day. He says, concentrate like a Roman. He says, do this as if it's the last thing you're doing in your life. That's what Marcus Aurelius did. His morning routine set him up for success. He didn't approach the day at random. He knew that well begun is half done, and so should you. Start your day with a morning routine that lets you own the day from the beginning.